CBSE Class 10, Footprints Without Feet, Chapter 10, The Book That Saved the Earth. Mother Goose is a well-known book of nursery rhymes in English. Do you think such a book can save planet Earth from a Martian invasion? Read this play, set 4 centuries in the future, and find out. Characters: Historian Lieutenant Iota, Great and Mighty Think Tank Sergeant Oop, Apprentice Noodle, Offstage Voice, and Captain Omega. Scene 1. Time: the 12th century. Place: the Museum of Ancient History, Department of the 20th century on the planet Earth. Before rise, spotlight shines on historian who is sitting at a table downright on which is a movie projector. A sign on an easel beside her reads, Museum of Ancient History, Department of the 20th Century. She stands and bows to the audience. Historian: Good afternoon. Welcome to our Museum of Ancient History and to my department, Curiosities of the Good Old Far-Off 20th Century. The 20th century was often called the era of the book. In those days, there were books about everything, from ant-eaters to Zulus. Books taught people how to and when to and where to and why to. They illustrated, educated, punctuated, and even decorated. But the strangest thing a book ever did was to save the earth. You haven't heard about the Martian invasion of 2040? Tisk, tisk. What do they teach children nowadays? Well, you know, the invasion never really happened because a single book stopped it. What was the book, you ask? A noble encyclopedia? A tome about rockets and missiles? A secret file from outer space? No, it was none of those. It was. But here, let me turn on the historiscope and show you what happened many centuries ago in 2040. She turns on a projector and points it left. Spotlight on historian goes out and comes up down left on Think Tank, who is seated on a raised box, arms folded. He has a huge egg-shaped head, and he wears a long robe decorated with stars and circles. Apprentice Noodle stands beside him at an elaborate switchboard. A sign on the easel reads, Mars Space Control, Great and Mighty Think Tank, Commander-in-Chief. Bow low before entering. Noodle, bowing. Oh, great and mighty think tank, most powerful and intelligent creature in the whole universe, what are your orders? Think tank, peevishly. You left out part of my salutation, Apprentice Noodle. Go over the whole thing again. Noodle, it shall be done, sir, in a singer-song. Oh, great and mighty think tank, ruler of Mars and her 2 moons, most powerful and intelligent creature in the whole universe. What are your orders? Think tank, that's better, Noodle. I wish to be placed in communication with our manned space probe to that ridiculous little planet we are going to put under our generous rulership. What do they call it again? Noodle. Earth, your intelligence. Think tank. Earth, of course. You see how insignificant the place is. But first, something important. My mirror. I wish to consult my mirror. Noodle. It shall be done, sir. He hands Think Tank a mirror. Think Tank. Mirror, mirror in my hand, who is the most fantastically intellectually gifted being in the land? Offstage voice of trouble. You, sir? Think Tank, smacking the mirror. Quicker! Answer quicker next time! I hate a slow mirror. He admires himself in the mirror. Oh, there I am. Are we Martians not a handsome race? So much more attractive than those ugly earthlings with their tiny heads. Noodle, you keep on exercising your mind, and someday you'll have a balloon brain just like mine. Noodle. Oh, I hope so, mighty tank, Think Tank. I hope so. Think Tank. Now contact the space probe. I want to invade that primitive ball of mud called Earth before lunch. Noodle. It shall be done, sir. He adjusts levers on switchboard, electronic buzzes and beeps are heard as the curtain opens. Scene 2. Time a few seconds later. Place a Mars Space Control and the Centerville Public Library. At Rise, Captain Omega stands at center, opening and closing card catalog drawers in a confused fashion. Lieutenant Iota is up left, counting books in a bookcase. Sergeant Oop is at right, opening and closing a book, turning it upside down, shaking it, and then riffling the pages and shaking his head. Noodle, adjusting knobs. I have a close sighting of space crew, sir. Think Tank puts on a pair of enormous goggles and turns towards the stage to watch. They seem to have entered some sort of Earth structure. Think Tank. Excellent! Make voice contact. Noodle, speaking into a microphone. Mars Space Control calling, the crew of Probe 1. Mars Space Control calling, the crew of Probe 1. Come in, Captain Omega, and give us your location. Omega speaking into a disc which is on a chain around her neck. Captain Omega to Mars Space Control. Lieutenant Iota, Sergeant Oop, and I have arrived on Earth without incident. We have taken shelter in this, indicates room, this square place. Have you any idea where we are, Lieutenant Iota? Iota. I can't figure it out, Captain. Holding up a book. I've counted 2,000 of these peculiar items. This place must be some sort of a storage barn. What do you think, Sergeant Oop? Oop? I haven't a clue. I've been to 7 galaxies, but I've never seen anything like this. Maybe they're hats. He opens a book and puts it on his head. Say, maybe this is a haberdashery. Omega, bowing low. Perhaps the great and mighty Think Tank will give us the benefit of his thought on the matter. Think Tank. Elementary, my dear Omega. hold one of the items up so that I may view it closely. Omega holds a book on the palm of her hand. Yes, I understand now. Since earth creatures are always eating, the place in which you find yourselves is undoubtedly a crude refreshment stand. Omega to Iota and Oop. He says we are in a refreshment stand. Oop. Well, the earthlings certainly have a strange diet. Think Tank. That item in your hand is called a sandwich. Omega nodding. A sandwich. Iota nodding. A sandwich. Oop taking book from his head. A sandwich. Think Tank. Sandwiches are the main staple of Earth diet. Look at it closely. Omega squints at book. There are 2 slices of what is called bread, and between them is some sort of filling. Omega, that is correct, sir. Think Tank. To confirm my opinion, I order you to eat it. Omega. Eat it? Think Tank. Do you doubt the mighty Think Tank? Omega. Oh, no. But poor Lieutenant Iota has not had her breakfast. Lieutenant Iota, I order you to eat this sandwich. Iota, dubiously. Eat it? Oh, Captain, it's a very great honor to be the first Martian to eat a sandwich. I'm sure, but how can I be so impolite as to eat before my sergeant? Handing Oop the book and saying brightly, Sergeant Oop, I order you to eat the sandwich immediately. Oop, making a face. Who, Lieutenant? Me, Lieutenant. Iota and Omega, saluting for the glory of Mars. Oop. Oop. Yes, of course. Immediately. He opens his mouth wide. Omega and Iota watch him breathlessly. He bites down on a corner of the book and pantomimes chewing and swallowing while making terrible faces. Omega, well, Oop. Iota, well, Oop. Of course. Omega and Iota pound him on the back. Think Tank. Was it not delicious, Sergeant Oop? Oop, saluting. That is correct, sir. It was not delicious. I don't know how the earthlings can get those sandwiches down without water. They are dry as Martian dust. Noodle. Sir, great and mighty Think Tank, I beg your pardon, but an insignificant bit of data floated into my mind about those sandwiches. Think Tank. It can't be worth much, but go ahead. Give us your trifling bit of data. Noodle. Well, sir, I have seen surveyor films of those sandwiches. I noticed that the earthlings did not eat them. They used them as some sort of communication device. Think Tank, haughtily. Naturally, that was my next point. These are actually communication sandwiches. Think Tank is never wrong. Who is never wrong? All saluting. Great and mighty Think Tank is never wrong. Think Tank. Therefore, I order you to listen to them. Omega, listen to them? Iota and Oop to each other, puzzled. Listen to them? Think tank. Do you have marbles in your ears? I said, listen to them. Martians bow very low. Omega. It shall be done, sir. They each take 2 books from the case and hold them to their ears, listening intently. Iota, whispering to Omega, do you hear anything? Omega, whispering back, nothing. Do you hear anything? Oop, oop, loudly, not a thing. Omega and Iota jump in fright. Omega and Iota, shh. They listen intently again. Think tank. Well, report to me. What do you hear? Omega. Nothing, sir. Perhaps we are not on the correct frequency. Iota. Nothing, sir. Perhaps the earthlings have sharper ears than we do. Oop, I don't hear a thing. Maybe these sandwiches don't make sounds. Think tank. What? Does somebody suggest the mighty think tank has made a mistake? Omega. Oh no, sir. We'll keep listening. Noodle. Please excuse me, your brilliance, but a cloudy piece of information is twirling around my head. Think tank. Well, twirl it out, Noodle, and I will clarify it for you. I seem to recall that the earthlings did not listen to the sandwiches. They opened them and watched them. Think tank. Yes, that is quite correct. I will clarify that for you, Captain Omega. Those sandwiches are not for your ear communication. They are for your eye communication. Now, Captain Omega, take that large, colorful sandwich over there. It appears to be important. Tell me what you observe. Omega picks up a very large volume of Mother Goose, holding it so that the audience can see the title. Iota looks over her left shoulder and Oop peers over her right shoulder. Omega. It appears to contain pictures of earthlings. Iota. There seems to be some sort of code. Think tank, sharply interested. Code? I told you this was important. Describe the code. Oop. It's little lines and squiggles and dots, thousands of them alongside the pictures. Think tank. Perhaps the earthlings are not as primitive as we have thought. We must break the code. Noodle. Forgive me your cleverness, but did not the chemical department give us space people vitamins to increase their intelligence? Think tank. Stop! A thought of magnificent brilliance has come to me. Space people, our chemical department has given you vitamins to increase your intelligence. Take them immediately and then watch the sandwich. The meaning of the code will slowly unfold before you. Omega. It shall be done, sir. Remove vitamins. Crew takes vitamins from boxes on their belts. Present vitamins. They hold vitamins out in front of them stiffly. Swallow vitamins. They pop the vitamins into their mouths and gulp simultaneously. They open their eyes wide, their heads shake, and they put their hands to their foreheads. Think tank. Excellent! Now decipher that code. All. It shall be done, sir. They frown over the book, turning pages. Omega brightly, aha! Iota brightly, oh ho! Oop, bursting into laughter. Think tank. What does it say? Tell me this instant. Transcribe Omega. Omega, yes, sir. She reads with great seriousness. Mistress Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With cockle shells and silver bells and pretty maids all in a row. Oop, ha ha ha, imagine that, pretty maids growing in a garden. Think Tank alarmed. Stop! This is no time for levity. Don't you realize the seriousness of this discovery? The Earthlings have discovered how to combine agriculture and mining. They can actually grow crops of rare metals such as silver and cockle shells. They can grow high explosives too. Noodle, contact our invasion fleet. Noodle, they are ready to go down and take over Earth, sir. Think Tank, tell them to hold. Tell them new information has come to us about Earth. Iota, transcribe. Yes, sir, she reads very gravely. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Oop, the dish ran away with the spoon. Think Tank, cease laughter, desist. This is more and more alarming. The Earthlings have reached a high level of civilization. Didn't you hear? They have taught their domesticated animals musical culture and space techniques. Even their dogs have a sense of humor. Why, at this very moment, they may be launching an interplanetary attack of millions of cows. Notify the invasion fleet. No invasion today. Oop, transcribe the next code. Oop, yes, sir, reading. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men cannot put Humpty Dumpty together again. Oh, look, sir, here's a picture of Humpty Dumpty. Why, sir, he looks like, turns large page of Humpty Dumpty towards Think Tank and the audience. Think Tank, screaming and holding his head. It's me! It's my great and mighty balloon brain. The Earthlings have seen me and they're after me. Had a great fall. That means they plan to capture Mars Central Control and me. It's an invasion of Mars. Noodle, prepare a space capsule for me. I must escape without delay. Space people, you must leave Earth at once, but be sure to remove all traces of your visit. The Earthlings must not know that I know. Omega, Iota, and Oop rush about, putting books back on the shelves. Noodle, where shall we go, sir? Think Tank, 100 million miles away from Mars. From Mars, order the invasion fleet to evacuate the entire planet of Mars. We are heading for Alpha Centauri, 100 million miles away. Omega, Iota, and Oop run off right as Noodle helps Think Tank off left and the curtain closes. Spotlight shines on Historian down right. Historian chuckling, and that's how one dusty old book of nursery rhymes saved the world from a Martian invasion. As you all know, in the 25th century, 500 years later, all this happened. We Earthlings resumed contact with Mars, and we even became friendly with the Martians. By that time, great and mighty Think Tank had been replaced by a very clever Martian, the wise and wonderful Noodle. Oh yes, we taught the Martians the difference between sandwiches and books. We taught them how to read too, and we established a model library in their capital city of Marsopolis. But as you might expect, there is still one book that the Martians can never bring themselves to read. You've guessed it, Mother Goose. bows and exits right. Curtain, written by Claire Boyko. Thank you.